Fucking Craig.
Fuck Craig. Piece of shit. I think we all say the exact same thing every week. All right. Well, this is Phil, Lance, and Luke on the Huge Sack Podcast Super Wildcard Week. And Lance, Luke, you want to say something real quick? Say hi.
Hi, guys.
What's up, guys?
I think this week we are just going to kind of run down. I guess we're going to quickly do a Lance's Corner if you want, Lance. You want a Lance's Corner real quick, and then we'll jump into the games a little more heavily, and then we'll hop into the divisional round. Does that sound good, Lance? All right,
Yeah.
let's do Lance's Corner. Go.
All right, everyone. So, Super Wildcard Weekend kicked off in Santa Clara, California, where the number 7 Seahawks are at the number 2 San Francisco 49ers. And it was looking like maybe we're sniffing an early upset with Seahawks. They get a lead at halftime, but that didn't matter because Brock Purdy became a dude and he torched him in the second half. Defense did their job. San Francisco blast the Seahawks out of California, 41-23. Head on to the other side of the country. Saturday night was the Chargers in Duval, Jacksonville, Florida. Chargers jumped out to 27-0 lead at halftime with 4 interceptions on Trevor Lawrence. But I guess 27-point lead didn't matter much because the Jaguars had an unbelievable comeback. They win 31-30. Sunday kicked off in Buffalo. Dolphins came to town. Just like both matchups early in the year, this was a close one. Josh Allen turned the ball over a few times. Dolphins turned the ball over a few times. And close one there, 34-31. Buffalo Bills win. And then we head to Minneapolis. The New York Giants heading over to Minneapolis to take on Phil's Vikings. I guess it was a sad day for Viking fans as Daniel Jones, and Saquon Barkley lead the Giants to victory, 31-24. Sunday ended in Cincinnati. Tough AFC North battle. Ravens, Bengals. Defense got it done at the goal line, punched the ball out on a quarterback sneak. The tackle returns it to the opposite end zone. Bengals get the win there, 24-17. And then we ended the weekend in Tampa Bay, Florida. Tom Brady, Dallas Cowboys. But I think the Cowboys were sick of hearing all this Tom Brady 7-0 BS bullshit. Cowboys defense absolutely crushes Brady. Tampa Bay can't get anything done, but the Dallas offense got a lot done. They beat them 31-14. That's your super wild card weekend, and we're off to the divisional round.
All right. Good deal. Okay. That was Lance's Corner. Good job, Lance. Let's jump into these games from last weekend a little bit. Let's start with our Saturday games. Seahawks and 49ers. I guess I don't really have much to say about this game. I watched this whole game, and it's the same old kind of stuff for the 49ers. They could kind of just do whatever they wanted, and that's how that team is built. And the Seahawks did make a couple plays, but it just seemed like even with that, it's too big of a wave to push past. And this 49ers team is real good, and they should get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I guess Luke, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. I was just going to say I agree. I think the 49ers are the best all-around team in the league this year. And I don't know, when I had turned the game on initially, it was part ways through, or maybe it was right around halftime, and the Seahawks were up, and I was like, what the hell is going on? And then I looked at it a little later, and I was like, oh, well, that was expected, that the Niners were going to take them. Well,
I'm just gonna lead off with how do you stop the Niners? Because they got Christian McCaffrey, running back. Okay, we'll make a game plan for Christian McCaffrey. Okay, so then they'll give it to Debo. Okay, we'll make a plan for Debo. Well, they also got another wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk, that's pretty good at catching balls. So then you got to stop Ayuk. Oh yeah, and probably after this year, probably the second best tight end in the NFL, George Kittle. I mean that, like, their offense, it's unstoppable.
Yeah.
Who do you try to shut down? Because then there's three other weapons that you have to worry about.
That's what I'm saying, dude. The Seahawks they made plays. They did stuff to like win games. A lot of other teams that would have been enough. It's just this team is just too much. I mean, I'm going back in their games and I'm trying to find a quarter where they didn't score. First one I find was like I don't know, week 16. And everything after that is like double digit scoring in each quarter. It's just that they're so overpowered. They just put up points.
I think they're the best put together team in the league.
Yep. I'm with
Yeah,
it.
and we're just talking offense. I mean, their defense flies to the ball every single play.
Instantly. Yep. Yep. All right. Let's jump over to the Chargers and the Jags. This one, I think we might have all done the same thing. Did
What
you
the
guys
fuck
go to bed
happened?
at? Did you go to bed at halftime?
I pretty much stopped watching at halftime.
Yeah. I had to. I woke up and I saw the score and I had to rewatch the second half. What the hell? I don't know what to really even say about this. All I can honestly say is that I told you guys, you can't trust this Chargers team, man.
Well, I didn't think they were going to blow a 27-point lead. Like, if
Well,
Jacksonville played the second half and they just came out, that would have been understandable. But 27-point blown.
I will
I'm
say
not,
also though, this was in Jacksonville. So this was like that could have been something. It doesn't matter if you start building momentum as a home team, it's hard to stop.
well, except for the Chargers, because they don't really have fans in their stands.
That's true.
I guess we could just talk about more what
Okay.
Doug Peterson's doing to this Jacksonville team. Just
Okay.
completely turning them around. And I mean, they believe in themselves. Trevor Lawrence is a dude now. ETN is coming into his own. I know he didn't play last year because he had I think ACL injury, but he's becoming a guy. They got a pretty good receiving core, and yeah.
And I'll be real with you guys. Something else I want to comment on is that these teams that like, okay, you won your wild card game. Now you got another one. You're playing the Chiefs. You can't throw 4 picks.
Oh yeah, no.
It's like, yeah, great they won, but it's still like it was ugly in the first half. I mean, we all kind of stopped watching, right?
Yeah, I think the postseason debut, Trevor Lawrence definitely came out in the first half.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
And then
Luke.
and then Doug Peterson just brought him in
Yeah.
at halftime and he said, guess what? It's still have to play Trevor Lawrence. You were a first overall pick for a reason. And
Yeah. Luke, you got anything to cap this one off with?
Just Trevor Lawrence, he's what, 23 years old, and to have I get that they were at home, but just to have the resilience, I guess, to come back after a 4 interception game to throw for 4 touchdowns and bring your team back to get the win, that's a hell of a job. That's what people are looking for in franchise quarterbacks.
yep.
All right, let's jump into the Sunday noon game. Was it? I don't even know. Dolphins Bills.
Yeah.
I'll be real with you. I didn't expect the Dolphins to play that great.
I don't think anyone did.
They played pretty good. That's kind of all I got to say about this one. The Bills did normal. They're just scoring 35 points a game, whatever. But the Dolphins played a lot better than I thought they were going to. That's kind of all I have to say about that.
Do you think that's partially on the Bills, thinking it's the Dolphins are playing with their third string quarterback or whatever, so it's
That's what I think. That's exactly what happened.
That's the
And
only
then it didn't help that they jump out to like a 17-0 lead. And I think the Bills got way too comfortable. Josh Allen got a little reckless with the ball, 2 bad picks, and then all of a sudden Dolphins were back into it and it was a dogfight.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bills got to be a little more focused next week, because it's not going to fly when you're playing Burrow and the boys.
Yep. And now, sorry, the Bills had the 2, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're playing in Buffalo.
Yep.
I see that now. Okay. Perfect. We'll talk about that later. Are you guys good with that one? Cap that one off good?
Yep.
Let's jump right over into the Giants and the Vikings game. This is my team, so I better do something about this. They outperformed what I was expecting at the beginning of the season. That's a win. I'll take that. I wasn't expecting them to do anything, so getting to playoffs, winning the division, that's huge. And I also I'm trying to find a positive in this negative thing. That's what I do. Vikings fans are good at it. So I'm looking at this saying that there is an obvious reason that we lost this game, and it's clear what we need to work on in the offseason. And it's the entire defense. So, I mean, we just couldn't stop anything. Offense played, I don't know, they played okay. They didn't play terrible. Jefferson maybe had some jitters that was his first his first playoff game, right? So I don't know. He had 50 yards or whatever it was, and I think that's kind of where I'm at. Is it's just clear to see that we need to work on our defense, and if that happens to be firing our defensive coordinator, which everybody's calling for right now, then so be it. Or dumping some of our veterans. I seen some names that could be cut. Some Harrison Smith, some Daniil Hunter, some. I mean, there's a lot that are. If that's how you fix a defense, go ahead, and we'll keep trying with this same offense, in my opinion. But anyway, what do you guys think about this game?
Well, you also have to teach Kirk Cousins to throw further than 3 yards when the game's on the line.
See any of his comments?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Everybody's saying that's what everybody's saying. Yeah, you can't throw it on a 4th and 8. You can't throw it 3 yards. Blah blah blah. He felt pressure. Okay, so first of all, I think we need to back up a second. Our offensive line was partially injured, and I mean our center had back spasms like throughout the game. Anyway, he felt pressure and he wanted to get the ball in play and see if somebody could make a play. And that was his only open receiver at that time. That's the reason why he dumped it off like that. He's not a mobile quarterback, and we know that. That's the pocket just was collapsing, and he knew it, and he tried to get it out. It was either take a sack, throw an interception deep, or a potential interception deep. I don't know. He could have thrown it up deep. I mean, why not? But he was just trying to get it in play because maybe Hawkinson could make a play and get a first down. He had one-on-one. If he would have broke a tackle, he gets a first down. So, I don't know. Anyway, continue what you were saying.
No, I guess that was it for the Vikings. I think Giants showed me a little something that maybe they can make a little more noise in the playoffs. And
Yeah,
I don't think it was just against just like you were saying, the defense for Minnesota played poor. I think Danny Dimes kind of flexed on us a little bit. Saquon was Saquon. We knew he was probably gonna do Saquon. He's gonna run the ball and had some pretty nice touchdowns. But I was impressed that Daniel Jones kind of stood up to the moment.
Luke?
I saw articles as well because you're talking about potentially moving on from some veterans. I saw that Adam Thielen might be done as
Absolutely,
well.
Yep.
I know with his contract or whatever, and I don't know how this works or whatever, but he deferred a lot of his payments to help with the salary cap in past years. But so now the Vikings still owe him a lot of money, and I don't know if he retires or if he goes to a different team. I don't know how that works with that, or if they move on from him, whatever. So I don't know what their salary cap type thing is going to be.
Yeah. I think he's pretty much out. His wife already posted on Instagram or something saying, like, goodbye, Minnesota.
Well, there's nothing wrong with getting out of Minnesota, but
What if he just hops the border and puts on green for a year?
Would you complain, Luke?
um,
I'd get a Thielen. I'd get a Thielen Packers jersey.
no,
I don't know how active Green Bay is going to be in the wide receiver market, but
Yeah,
pick,
right.
picking up older players that may or may not be washed up is more of the Vikings thing to do to old Packers receivers. I don't think it's ever gone the other way.
It's kind of true.
yeah,
Anyway, guys, let's keep moving on, right?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's talk about.
one thing to say about Kirk Cousins. I guess I saw an article calling him Kirkland Cousins, kind of like the Costco brand, you know. Nothing wrong with Costco. It gets the job done. It does all right. But it's nothing that you're like, yeah, Costco or yeah, Kirkland. That's how I've always felt about Kirk Cousins. And I
Yeah.
know you've heard me say it before. He's not the guy you can look to. I think Minnesota overpays him. I think a lot of people think that, but he's a good quarterback. But as far as I've seen, especially with this year where it's all these one score game type of things, he's not a great quarterback.
I
And
agree.
I don't know.
How many great quarterbacks do you think are in the league right now, though?
Right now.
Yeah. Like 5 to 10?
There's 3 in the AFC for sure still playing.
I'd say there's probably about 5 right now. Yeah.
I mean, it's tough to come by. I think, honestly, if Aaron Rodgers, which also, Luke, I've heard today, didn't he comment? He said, I could win MVP again.
I believe he could.
I don't know. I didn't see that. And
That's what he said. Anyway, well, that's what I'm saying, Luke. If you when you move on past Aaron Rodgers, because he's one of those guys you put up there, right?
I mean, not this year, but yeah.
Okay. When you move on past that, it's hard to find. Lance, how is it finding your quarterback, your great quarterback as a Broncos fan right now?
Yeah, very hard.
It's a
Sucks.
pain in the ass. I think that it's pretty consistent that there's about I think 5 to 10 great quarterbacks in the league.
It could be.
I mean, I just I think that's how it's tough finding a good quarterback, and I agree with you, but I think that Kirk Cousins is among the top good quarterbacks. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, and I guess just going back to agree with you, it's if you have a good quarterback, whether he's in the middle of the goods or he's on the top of the goods, whatever, he's not a great, then yeah, you need to work on your offensive line. You need to work on your defense so the defense can stop the other team.
Yep. It's clear to see it when you watch the Vikings. That's exactly what's going on.
I've said it before, not this year, of course, but it's like be honest, other than this year, if you had to 2-minute drill game winning drive, would you rather have Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins?
Here's the deal. Also, okay, and I'm not one to slander Kirk Cousins here, but I will say something I will say is you got to think about who he's throwing at as well. Think about all the catches in the past 5 years that Adam Thielen's caught that he had no right catching that Kirk just kind of tossed up to him. Now Jefferson's doing it. Now Hawkinson's doing it. Kyle Rudolph used to do it. Do you remember this stuff? I mean, just they had no right to catch those balls and they were catching them. Is that it kind of matters who you're throwing it to. Because I mean, be honest, when Jefferson caught that catch in Buffalo, did he have any right to catch that ball? Was that a good choice to throw that ball as a quarterback into triple coverage?
No.
Terrible call. But Jefferson caught the ball, and now Kirk gets a what was it, like 25-yard pass or 30-yard pass, and he gets a good stat. So I don't know. I'm willing to keep trying with him, but I think it's going to kind of show in the next 2 years probably whether he's going to figure something out or not. Anyway.
Do you even know how many years he has on his contract?
It was extended 1 from that 3-year that they just did, like 4 or 5 years. I don't remember. So I think he's got 1 more year on his contract as of right now. Because he moved money around as well, just like Thielen did to free cap space.
Which, yeah, that would be a whole different podcast. I don't understand how that works and how it's going to eventually come to these players.
I agree. Anyway, okay, let's jump into the Ravens-Bengals. Lance, can you tell us all about Joey B?
Yeah, he's a dog. He's the baddest MF around. Didn't play like it on Sunday, but yeah, Bengals kind of struggled. Not gonna lie, struggled a lot more than I thought. I mean, divisional game. They just played each other last week. It was probably in the Ravens' favor that Huntley played this one because I mean the Bengals defense basically they had to just reinforce their game plan again because they just saw Burrow when Bengals were playing a different quarterback. I don't know. Offense or defense came up big, like I talked about on Lance's corner with that the fumble that they caused at the goal line on that quarterback sneak, turning it to the house. But Bengals struggle a bit, but this was a typical AFC North battle. Just low scoring, grind it out.
I
And,
will.
What's up, Glenn?
I thought the Ravens did. They scored more points than I thought they were going to.
oh yeah. No, I didn't I had 13 for my prediction. I thought the Ravens weren't going to do anything. But
Something I need to say real quick is, okay, didn't happen, thank God. But guys, think about this scenario, okay? Think about if the Bengals would have lost this game. Okay. Do you think that they would maybe be a little mad that they didn't get to finish out that game against the Bills? Because honestly, from one perspective, you can sit and say, yeah, the Dolphins put up 31, but I think I would rather play the Dolphins than the Ravens. Bengals were ahead. They were driving, weren't they? When the game ended against the Bills.
Well, it was after 2 drives. Yeah, they were winning.
And they were driving. So like
it was
it's I don't know. That's just something I want to touch on because my boss brought it up. He's a Bengals fan. And he goes, "Boy, I probably would have been mad." Just thought I'd bring it up. Anyway, yeah. This game could have been either way. Honestly, the Ravens just made a stupid call at the end there. They could have won this game 24-17.
Yeah, definitely took a chance running it with Huntley instead of. I saw J.K. Dobbins was pissed afterwards and said that they should have just handed the ball to him. That Huntley shouldn't have been in that position to begin with, but that's the coach's call and got to live with it. But just kind of unfortunate that he chose to dive upwards, and then it was a kind of an easy target for them just to punch the ball out.
Right.
But
anyway, Luke, you got something?
No, I just like I said, I thought the Ravens scored more points than they should have.
Yep.
But I don't know if that's them doing well or the Bengals defense doing poorly. I didn't see a whole lot of that game.
I did see that one touchdown by the Ravens was a little bit of some blown coverage on Cincinnati's defense. I think it was Eli Apple blew his coverage, and if they there's going to be a few more touchdowns in Buffalo if Bengals are letting those slip off.
Yep. All right, let's jump into the Dallas Tampa Bay game. Luke, you wanna start us off on this one?
I can start, but being that I just have an antenna at home, I usually don't get to watch Monday night games. This one was on ABC as well, so I did get to watch a little bit, although my antenna is okay with like Fox, CBS, and Care 11, but it didn't seem to like ABC very much. I didn't want to mess with it too much. But I did see that the Cowboys won, and this, like we mentioned last week, this is a game I was happy to be wrong about. Everybody hates having Tom Brady in the playoffs every single year. I'm happy he's out. Nobody can deny that he's either the greatest of all time, best of all time, whatever. But I'm happy that he is out of the playoffs. Good job by the Cowboys.
Agree. I'm with you on that. I feel like the Cowboys showed up like they were supposed to last week and the week before and whenever they're so spotty, but if they play like this through playoffs, they're gonna win games.
Mm-hmm.
I guess at least if they play like that, honestly, I just want them to play like this just to see what that does against this 49ers team. Because I think that this could be really competitive or it could be a blowout. So anyway, yeah, I agree with Luke too. Tom Brady's out of here. I'm real happy about that. I think that the Bucks played and the Cowboys just played real good. Lance?
Yeah, I agree with all that. The two sides of the ball that I was thinking were gonna show up showed up. I mean, let's all be completely honest. This Bucks team should not have been in the playoffs to begin with. Their offense stinks, and the Cowboys defense brought it out of them. It is just kind of a weird. It was a weird game seeing Brady struggle like he did, and I know he had a lot of pressure, which that's like good on the Cowboys for dialing up the pressure, but wasn't on the page with his receivers at all, which that's not a Tom Brady game. And then on the other side, Dak started figuring out the Bucks defense and was kind of just ripping them apart, getting his checkdowns. I don't think they really got the running game going, but when Dak's slinging it, I'd say just keep it going on him. I think they're gonna play. Well, I guess we'll get to that once we preview next weekend. But they're gonna have a much tougher task next weekend.
I think we're gonna jump right into our picks right now for the divisional rounds. I think that sums up the wild card weekend, the super wild card weekend. Yeah. Let's jump into our picks. Lance, you want to give us you got scores for us?
Yep, I do. So Luke is still in the lead with 181. Phil's got 180, and I'm at 166.
So we're gonna go in the same order, and we're just gonna call the team and by how much. Now we decided to change how we did this because I'm a fucking idiot and didn't know what I was doing last week. Anyway, so let's just dive right in. Luke, you're starting. Jags at Chiefs.
I go Chiefs by 8.
I'm gonna go Chiefs by 13.
I'm gonna go Chiefs by 4.
Giants at Eagles.
Jalen Hurts is playing, right?
He
Yes.
is. Yep.
Eagles by 14.
Eagles by 10.
Eagles by 1.
Bengals at Bills.
Bills by 5.
Bills by. You know what? No, I'm gonna go Bengals by 6.
I'm gonna go Bills by 6.
Cowboys at Niners.
I'm going to go Niners by 12.
Niners by 4.
Niners by 10.
All right. I guess let's dive into these games a little bit. What we think's going to happen here. Let's start off with the Jags Chiefs here. I don't think that the Jags are just going to bend over, but the Chiefs are just going to be too much. That's kind of why I have what I have.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too. The Jags showed that they were extremely resilient to come back from that 27-0 game this past weekend. I think they're going to get pretty scrappy. They're going to be fighting as hard as they can. I just kind of like you said, Phil, I think the Chiefs are still going to overpower.
Yep, I agree with all that. That's and plus, I mean, Chiefs defense isn't super great. They kind of made Russell Wilson look like Superman when he was a hobo pretty much the whole year. So yeah, I think we're gonna have an old fashioned AFC shootout in not only in this game but in both games. But yeah, I think Kansas City's just gonna keep an early lead. Jacksonville's gonna try to get back, but yeah, Chiefs are just gonna be too much for them.
New York and Eagles, I guess. Honestly, you could pick the Giants in this game if they were playing on a neutral field. I feel like the Giants are kind of hitting a form that's different than what they've been doing. Maybe I'm just being biased because I watched some shit on my Vikings, but I guess I still think that the Eagles are going to win this just because it's at home.
I think the Eagles are just they're not quite as well put together as the Niners by any means, but they definitely have good, strong offense, good, strong defense, and I don't know, the Giants. I don't think have it in them. This is technically a divisional game though for them, both NFC East. So those are always up in the air. Any team could win, kind of thing.
Yep, and that's exactly why I'm just picking Philly by 1. Divisional game. They both teams are pretty scrappy because they both got really good defenses. I think it's going to be a hard fought battle. Uh, Philly overall roster wise better offense, so I think they get the win. But I think Giants are going to punch them in the mouth a little bit, and they're gonna keep it close, and Philly's going to pull off a last second field goal to send them to the NFC Championship.
All right, now we got the Bengals and the Bills. Honestly, I don't have a good reason for picking the Bengals over the Bills. I just feel like the Bengals are kind of structured. They're pretty well put together too, guys. The Bengals team is pretty damn good all around. So I don't know, man. I feel like
Go ahead, Phil.
I just feel like this Bengals team might be able to get maybe a couple turnovers and turn this game into a special teams win or something. I don't know.
In my opinion, this will probably be the best game this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely potential, could go either way. I think it's either going to be an absolute shootout where it's touchdown Bills, touchdown Bengals, touchdown Bills, touchdown Bengals, or it's going to be an extremely low scoring game. I don't think there's going to be any in between.
Yeah, I agree with the overall shootout. I just think both these they they both just have too many weapons that it's going to be tough for either defense to stop either offense. So I'm expecting a shootout. I think we're going to have a pretty similar game to when Buffalo went to Kansas City last year. So if I can make a bold prediction, are we going to see our first overtime in the playoffs under these new rules where each team gets a possession no matter what? Who knows? But yeah, I'm expecting them to just keep exchanging touchdowns, and it's going to be a fun game.
All right, and then we got our Sunday night game, which is the Cowboys at the 49ers. Honestly, it all depends on whether this Cowboys team decides to show up or not.
I think if the Cowboys decide to show up, just would tell us how close they're going to try and keep it. Like I've said about these Niners, it's Phil, Lance, me. We could get plugged in as quarterback, and it seems like we'd still win.
Yep. They're so good. They keep calling it a machine, right?
Yeah.
And it is. It's a fucking machine. Their team is just so well. I don't know who rebuilt when they needed it, but they did an excellent job. So yeah. Lance, you got anything to cap that off?
I pretty much agree with what Luke said. Is it's going to depend on which Dallas team shows up just to keep it close. Like we've been saying this whole podcast session that the Niners just I like what I touched on earlier. Just how do you stop them? I don't think Dallas's defense is going to be able to stop this offense from humming. It is a machine and it is humming.
Well, all right. That is our podcast, I think. Yeah, we went over all the that's our wild card week. We reviewed those games and we discussed the divisional round, and that's week 19, I guess you could call it, of the Huge Sack podcast. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate you guys stopping by. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, put a comment down below. Make sure you guys tell us what you guys think about the podcast and about the NFL. Also, make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, huge_sack_podcast. Go follow us on Instagram there. And Lance has been running that. Keep you all up to date on our picks and whatnot before the podcast is even up. So, yeah, you guys got any last words?
It's another good weekend of football.
That's right.
Yeah.